Hi, my name is Chris and this is the Benchtop Workshop. In this video series, this is video 3 of 3, I'm going to show you how I made my batch of 12 drawers for my rolling tool wall. If you're interested in seeing how I made my drawers, stick around. This was going to be the last video in my 3-part series. However, I didn't quite make it to putting the drawer fronts and the handles on in this edit. Just because it was so much footage and I couldn't get it to a reasonable amount with those things included. So if you want me to turn that into a video, go ahead and hit like or leave a comment below. And if I have enough interest, I'll go ahead and take the time and edit a video showing you how I made the drawer fronts and the drawer handles. And now without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut my drawer bottoms. I have 2 sheets of plywood, and I'm going to go ahead and cut drawers that are, the bottoms will be 1/4 inch smaller than the width. So here what I'm doing, I'm cutting the first batch of drawer bottoms, and then I'll come back through and cut the sides. So here I am setting up to cut, ripping the sides of the drawers. I did 5-inch tall drawers, and my construction for these drawers is very simple. Here I'm just setting up to cut the sides to length, and then I simply rabbited each end and then fit them together with that lap joint. Here I am setting up to cut a rabbet. You can use a stop block as a spacer to set up to make sure that you get your rabbet the exact width, and then I just pass it through the blade and run it back and forth and back it away from the stop block. Gets me a precise width to that rabbet, and I just repeat it over and over again. Then here I am assembling the very first, or rather cutting the sides to length before I assemble the very first drawer. Once I get the first drawer assembled, or this first set of 3, I go ahead and try to install them. I actually made a mistake when I installed them. I used 1/2-inch spacers between my runners. You'll see that in just a second, but I did that off camera and then actually tore them out and redid them. I ended up using pennies as spacers, which gave me the perfect amount of clearance so that I could actually pull the drawer out and it wouldn't tip inside of the wooden rails. So I'm probably going to use this technique in the future, but here you can see me just laying out the pennies and then putting the spacer blocks on and tacking them into place. And this worked out pretty well. Even at this point in the construction, it's great to have these drawers to just get rid of some of the clutter that's around the shop. My shop's typically pretty dirty. I really am looking forward to getting organized again. It's been a while since my shop's been nice and organized, and trying to do these YouTube projects takes away from time that I would normally spend organizing the shop in between projects. So it was actually a different day, probably about a week later by the time I finally got around to doing the rest of the drawers. Here I am getting ready to break down a sheet of plywood for the other 2 sets of drawer bottoms. I couldn't cut the full length of the sheet on my workbench. You'll see I run into my miter saw here, so I just finished the cut with a circular saw. The offcut here is actually 24 inches tall by 8 feet long, and this is what I ended up using for the drawer fronts. This is something I planned, and if you stick around, you'll see that later on in a future video. And then here I am cutting the remaining 8 or 10 drawer bottoms. Once I got all the drawer bottoms cut, of course I had to cut some more side walls. And I did some of this out of the thin ply, and the rest of it I cut out of 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch scraps that I had around. This made making my rabbets and my cuts a little bit one-off, so I wasn't able to batch everything. I had to do some things for each drawer. It's custom, but most of my drawers I was actually able to batch out the parts pretty quickly, which made them go together pretty quickly, and also saved me a lot of time in cutting all my components. So here I am setting up to put my crosscut sled back on the table saw. I actually used a stop block extension for my crosscut sled to make these long drawer cuts, and I was pretty happy with the way it turned out here. I just measured the length of the drawer side that I had to cut, and then I attached the stop block and used it to cut my drawer side. You watch me just batch them out because I have quite a few to cut here. Now that I have all the components cut, it was pretty much just assembly. I just used glue, and I didn't recess or rabbet my bottoms into the ply, or I didn't rabbet my bottoms into the drawer sides at all. I just glued them right on the bottom. This is plenty strong, especially with the brad nails that I just used to clamp it in place before the glue dried. I have a few more drawer sides to cut out, so I'm just using some more 3/4 inch plywood that I had laying around the shop. And here I am assembling the final drawers. You can see that rabbet and flat construction there, just as lap joints with the glued on bottoms. There I am marking the depth for my runners. They're about, the cabinet's 20 inches deep, and I just used the cut-off scraps from the plywood sides, and just using up some more of the scrap plywood I had laying around here for these runners. Eventually I'll probably use a wax coating just to lubricate them a little bit, and I haven't sanded them so far as I've been using the drawers, but everything's working pretty well. I do have one drawer that's actually too narrow for it, and only really I can tell this whenever I use it, but if you pull it too far off to one side, it's the top center drawer, it'll actually fall off the runner and wedge itself in between. So I need to put a spacer there to keep the drawer centered left to right. And what actually caused it there, if you saw me trying to fit the drawer and it was too wide, so I actually cut it down a little bit, and I took too much material off, and so now the drawer's too narrow. But anyhow, I'm going to add a little rub block on one side to keep it from moving too far left or right. And, this is pretty exciting, getting all the drawers installed here and picking up the shop a little bit, cleaning it up, and finally giving things a little bit more of a home. It's not quite the way I want it to be organized for a permanent solution, but it's at least a lot of the clutter is put away, and I have like items stored together. So that's it's already making the shop more efficient. By the way, something to note about these drawers is I didn't use any manufactured glides. All of these drawers are simply mounted on plywood glides, and I tried to make this tool wall as cost effective as possible. And if you're interested in seeing how I made the rest of the tool wall, there's videos below. Go ahead and click on them and watch the rest of them. And if you're interested in just how I organize my shop moving forward, I'm starting to make the next series on tool wall holders. I'm going to take a short hiatus this summer to build a dining table for my wife. Probably won't videotape that, but if you're interested in what's going on in my shop, I'll still have a weekly video out, and I'll likely be posting pictures of the table on Instagram. But just in the interest of time, I probably will not be filming building that table, but I will take plenty of pictures. So I hope you liked this video, and if you did enjoy it, please share it with your friends and hit like, and I'd love to hear your comments below. And if you're not already, please help me increase this number and subscribe. And if you're not already subscribed, please help me grow this number. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.